We want to get to news here at home. The National Transportation Safety Board says the Ohio train derailment and toxic chemical spill could have been prevented. According to a preliminary report, the crew on board the Norfolk Southern train received an alert about an overheated wheel bearing moments before dozens of cars left the tracks in East Palestine. At that point, the wheel bearing was 235 degrees above the ambient temperature. Investigators say the train had passed two other sensors before and no alarms went off. The preliminary report was released the same day Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited East Palestine. It was his first visit since the derailment happened 3 weeks ago. Buttigieg viewed the wreckage and spoke to the community, pledging the Biden administration's ongoing support.
That's why we've been here from the first hours of the incident as an administration. And it's why our interest both in what happened here in East Palestine and in keeping our railroads safe doesn't go away when some other hot news story comes into the headlines. We're going to be here day in, day out, year in, year out, making our railroads safer and making sure Norfolk Southern meets its responsibilities. That is a promise and one I take very, very seriously.
Buttigieg also responded to criticism from former President Donald Trump, who had visited East Palestine the previous day. Buttigieg said it was Trump's administration that deregulated railroad safety, including suspending a requirement that trains carrying flammable liquids be outfitted with faster brakes.
One thing he could do is express support for reversing the deregulation that happened on his watch. I heard him say he had nothing to do with it, even though it was in his administration. So if he had nothing to do with it and they did it in his administration against his will, maybe he could come out and say that he supports us moving in a different direction. We're not afraid to own our policies when it comes to raising the bar on regulation.
Well, and this is really, Sam Stein, this is a problem for all the Republicans. This is a problem for Donald Trump that are attacking, I say all the Republicans who are attacking Joe Biden's response. They've been pushing one deregulation after another deregulation after another deregulation. And as Pete Buttigieg said, even deregulations that seemed to line up that could have prevented this crash possibly. And so the transportation secretary did exactly what he should have done. He said, OK, well, so Donald Trump, you're here and now suddenly you're a born again believer in regulations. OK, help us add regulations to these dangerous rail lines to keep the people of cities like East Palestine safe. And of course, neither Trump nor the Republicans will do anything about it because at the end of the day, Sam, it's probably all about gestures, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to be overly cynical, but I think you're right. Look, we've been looking into this at Politico for weeks now. One of the patterns we found is that, one is the railroad industry is a behemoth in Washington. They've been very good at getting deregulation through during the Trump era. We were the first to report of those safety deregulations that happened. The other thing that we found was that, this is not the first, sadly, not the first train derailment of this magnitude. It does happen somewhat regularly. We could not locate an instance, our reporters could not locate an instance in which there was a public opining for Elaine Chao, former transportation secretary, to go to the scene of a derailment. Which is not to say she shouldn't have. It's not to say that Pete Buttigieg shouldn't have gone to East Palestine earlier. Probably could have and would have saved himself a lot of political trouble. But what it does say is that there is some opportunism, shockingly, happening in this moment. The derailment was in a section of the country that J.D. Vance himself said was, quote, our people. What he meant by that was sort of white working class people who felt abandoned because manufacturing jobs had been shipped overseas. Obviously, Trump ran out there because he sensed a chance to show empathy, but also to stick it to the Biden administration by being there in the flesh when Pete Buttigieg was not there in the flesh and when Joe Biden was overseas in Ukraine. So, yes, there is opportunism happening here. I think that's fair to say. And, yes, I think you can overplay your hand. Now, this is where, of course, I think the Democrats suffer a little bit from losing control of one of the branches of Congress, because what they could do theoretically when Congress comes back into session, if they had control of the House, is put up a bill that says we want to enhance regulations on the railroad industry, make it more safe, prevent possibly future accidents like what happened in East Palestine from happening again. But they can't do that in the House. They could potentially do it in the Senate, but the Senate's more complicated, takes some floor time. And so that's one of the losses you see when you lose control of the House.